Hi everybody, I thought that I would make another video on the XS850 special. As you can see, the front tire from last video is on now, which is good. But now we have to put the brakes on. I was able to get one caliper on, the other caliper I cannot get. And I did want to talk a little bit about the front tire because I did not show you how to put it back on. I didn't take a video of it just because it was kind of hard. I was only by myself and you have to kind of lift up the bikes and mess around with the forks in order to get the rim in properly. So I apologize, but you really wouldn't have been able to see much if I would have just put it up on a tripod like this is right now because I was kind of all over. But one thing I did want to say, so the speedometer little control is on this side. And when you're putting that in, it only fits in one way. And what do I mean by that? Well, there's two little prongs. And you have to make sure that the prongs that are on the rim portion of the control match up with the slots. Sure, when you are doing this, you see how that there's a slot there and then there's a tab there. Make sure that tab goes in that slot. And then, like I said, orientation wise, you just want to make sure that the two prongs that are like this line up with the two slots. As you can see, I got this caliper on. It actually went on pretty good. It's not exactly all the way snugged up, as I don't know if you can see, but here I'll move it up and down. It isn't all the way snugged up, but at least it's on there. So that's what I'm going to try to do to the other one. The other one is being a little bit of a brat though, and I'll show you why. Okay, so basically the deal with this is it's very similar to a car caliper. And the piston, when you squeeze it on the brakes, it pushes the fluid through and it pushes the piston out. I tried to use a C-clamp and back it off without doing the master cylinder, because sometimes you can do it, you can move it a little bit without doing that, but that was not the case, unfortunately. So I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to put a C-clamp on it again, and I'm going to try to open up this bleeder. Even if there's just air in there, still I'm hoping that it will move back enough to where I can slide everything in again. So let's check it out and let's see what's going to happen. The tools that you're going to need for this, you're going to need an 8mm wrench for the bleeder and a pretty decent sized C-clamp, or if you actually have one of those handy dandy caliper tools, you can use one of those as well. So basically what I'm going to do here, remember this really isn't hooked up, see? It's just kind of laying there. So I'm going to put the C-clamp on it, and typically what I do is I'll put that part of the C-clamp inside the piston. It just makes it a little bit easier, I think. But to each their own, right? So we're trying to move it, and you will see if it moves, it'll collapse this piece of rubber, this rubber ring right here. Let me see if I can't get a little bit farther down here. There we go. It'll collapse this rubber ring, but as of right now, not collapsing. So I'm going to try to open up this bleeder here, and we're going to see what happens. I use the close end just so I don't strip. Ooh, boy, that's on there. There we go. And I did, when I did the front tire, I sprayed some lubricant on it. I ended up spraying some PB Blaster on it. So now we're going to see if it'll go in now that we released some pressure, as it were, by opening up that bleeder. Well, it feels like it slowly might be retracting, but whoo-hoo. Thing probably hasn't had fluid in it in some time. Sometimes you can get a wrench on here and get a little bit more pulling power. Boy, not much though, I tell you what, not much at all. I'm gonna try to use one of these bigger ones. so I can really grab a hold of it, if it'll let me, that is. Hopefully you guys can see from your perspective here. Kind of use my knee as a brace. There we go. Can you see how it's moving? It's just moving a little bit at a time, but it is moving. And I think that's really gonna help when it comes to, I wasn't that far off in getting these in there. Okay, so now that I have it turned like this, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna close this bleeder, because once I take the clamp off, it might end up moving back. The piston might end up coming back, and we don't want that, right? So the bleeder is closed. Let's back this off. Now the way that these work, they're pretty similar. Let's see if I can't get you up here a little bit. There we go. They're pretty similar to brake calipers for off of a car. They're just smaller basically, but they have, you probably aren't going to be able to see it, but there's a little metal, kind of a little metal tab, because you see how these are on here by this bolt, by the shaft, whatever you want to call it. When it clamps over, probably wondering, well, what holds this side? There's a little metal thing. It almost looks like a T, and that's what holds it. It's up in here. I don't know if it'll come out. The other one came out really easy, but this one looks like it's going to be pretty stubborn, so I think I'm going to leave it in there. But here, I'll go ahead and cut away really quick and show you a picture of it. Okay, so the mechanism I'm talking about is this thing right here, right at the end of my finger. It kind of looks like a T, sort of, or at least I think it looks like a T. And basically, those little ears on the brake pads fit into that T, and that's what holds that side. Okay, so this is kind of the all hands on deck portion, because there's so many things going on, you almost need 3 hands. We're going to try to pop this into place. Then once we do, we got to take this bolt out. There's a spacer that goes in here too, and you want to make sure not to lose it, or a washer rather, and you want to make sure not to lose it. And then of course on this side there's a big fat spacer, and there's lock washer, but there's, I wonder if I can show you if it'll let me pop it out. There's actually a shaft that pops out. It's like a sleeve. So there is a sleeve in there. If yours doesn't have a sleeve, then you're gonna have to get one, because that's pretty necessary, so especially when it comes to brakes. So like I said, I may fumble around with these a little bit, just because you almost need 3 hands. And yes, I know for all the people who say, well, you should just put new brakes on it. For right now, once again, I don't know what the condition of this bike is. I don't want to put if it was a Virago, because I have so many Virago 750s, I would, because I could always take the pads off and use them on another bike. But I'm not 100% sure that these would go on a Virago. I haven't cross-referenced, so instead, we're just going to try to pop this on how it is with the old brake pads, and just kind of see where we're at with everything. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. I'll bend this out a little bit. Okay. So, usually what I do is I start with one side. So I guess for me it's going to be this side. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew this bolt. Unscrew that bolt, or nut rather. And I'm going to take this lock washer off too, because I want to fit it up there. I want to fit it up here into this hole, because basically that's where it's going to reside. I'm going to make sure that we're getting it on straight though. Okay, so that's one side. Oop, feels like the other side might slide up there. That means that we have the piston pushed back enough. Boy, I sure hope so. Now we just have to make sure that both of them are going into these little dog ears. The outside one is. Let's see if the inside one is. Look from the other side here. Put on the old man glasses, right? Okay, the other one is not. So I'm just going to use a little wrench to push it in place if I can. There we go. Pushed right in place. So now you want to hold it, because if you don't hold it, guess what? All this stuff's going to come back out. And you don't want it to come back out, do you? So let's see what size is this? So it looks like it is a 12 millimeter. So we're going to go ahead and slowly but surely thread this up in here while we have the wrench on hand. Okay, so I went ahead and I got a 12 millimeter on a 3/8 drive, because once you get this up so far, it gets recessed in that cavity, and there's no way that you're going to be able to get the wrench in there because it's recessed. So see, I learned something. And plus, we're going to need to put the 12 up here anyway to hold this in place while we torquer it down, right? There we go. Oops. I'll put my hand like that. And I like making sure that they're reasonably tight, because after all, they are your brakes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tighten up the other side exactly the same, because I didn't tighten up the other side. And then we can do a quick wrap up, okay? Okay guys, so now the other side is on. That's going to be it for this video. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you bleed those brakes? Well, because I'm going to save that for the next video, okay? Because looking up at the master cylinder, it looks like somebody tried to use a Phillips bit instead of a JIS bit, and they may have done a little bit of strippage. So we may have to get a little bit creative in order to get the screws out. But I at least wanted to show you that we have them on, which is a good thing. If you like what you saw today, or if you liked what you saw in any of my videos, please, I implore you, click that like, click that subscribe. It really, really does help. Share my videos with anyone who you feel may benefit from them. That is awesome. I'm trying to start a little community to save these bikes from the crusher, even though a lot of people say the Viragos should go in the crusher, the 81s, because of the inherent starter problems, but that will be for a future video, because we may just delve into that and see if we can't fix it once and for all, right? I don't know yet, but right now we have brakes, we have a front tire. Big Red is getting there, isn't she? Let me know. Drop some comments down. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? I ended up having to grab a 12 millimeter ratchet, because there was no way that that a wrench was gonna go on there. So yeah, I'm learning just like you're learning. So of course I'm gonna make mistakes. I don't claim to know everything. I'm just learning right alongside you guys. And sometimes I think that's the best way, because sometimes when you watch things on YouTube, you watch these master techs who do it and they just rip right through it with no problems. And then you try and you're like, oh no, this is more of a real approach, right? A real world application of, I am just trying to do what I can. And I make mistakes, and I learn from my mistakes. And ultimately, so far, things are going okay. So once again, guys, have a great week. It's Monday. Look out for a video, hopefully by the end of the week. And if you haven't watched, if you're a first-time watcher and you haven't watched my other videos, please watch my other videos. Check me out on Facebook. Check out our Discord as well. And let's see what we can do this riding season in getting Big Red out on the road and having some fun with her, okay? Take care, guys.